Have you ever stared up at the night sky and thought you knew everything about space? That the sun is yellow, astronauts float because there's no gravity, or that we'd instantly freeze the second we left our spacecraft? Well, what if I told you almost everything you think you know about space might actually be wrong? Today we're counting down 10 of the biggest space facts that are actually untrue, from number 10 all the way to number 1. Get ready, because this is going to be eye-opening. Number 10. You'd freeze instantly in space. Let's kick things off with a classic. The idea that if you stepped out into space without a suit, you'd turn into a human popsicle instantly. Sounds terrifying, right? Movies have made this look dramatic, but the reality is a little different. Heat doesn't transfer quickly in the vacuum of space. That means your body wouldn't freeze immediately. The real danger? Oxygen. Without it, your brain would start losing consciousness in just 15 seconds, and after a couple of minutes, your organs would fail. So yes, it's deadly to leave your suit behind, but freezing instantly is more sci-fi than fact. Number 9. Space is completely empty. Many people picture space as a total void, nothing at all. But while space is mostly a vacuum, it's far from empty. Tiny atoms, cosmic dust, stray molecules, and even our own space junk float around. Earth's orbit alone is cluttered with over 20,000 pieces of debris, including old satellites, rocket stages, and fragments from collisions. Scientists worry about this space debris problem because it could damage future spacecraft. So space isn't a perfect, pristine void, it's more like a vast, silent junkyard. Number 8. The sun is yellow. Remember learning in school that the sun is yellow? That's a classic misconception. In reality, the sun is closer to green if you measure its light spectrum. Your eyes don't perceive green because the sun emits multiple wavelengths of light that mix together to appear white. From Earth, it looks yellow because the atmosphere scatters blue light. And fun fact, if the sun really was yellow in a literal sense, our planet might be a frozen wasteland. So that cheerful yellow circle in your childhood drawings? Totally artistic license. Number 7. The sun is on fire. Speaking of the sun, we often imagine it as a massive fireball in the sky. But here's the science. The sun isn't burning like wood on a campfire. It's a nuclear fusion reactor, fusing hydrogen into helium in its core. This process releases an enormous amount of energy in the form of heat and light. No flames, no smoke, just pure fusion. So the next time someone tells you the sun is on fire, you can politely correct them with some nuclear physics. Number 6. Explosions in space happen the same way on Earth. Epic space battles and movies show spaceships exploding in fiery, loud blasts. But here's the catch. Explosions need oxygen to produce fire, and space has almost none. A spacecraft exploding in orbit would create a violent release of energy and debris, but there would be no fireball, no flames, and no sound. Hollywood loves to spice things up, but the truth? Space explosions are silent, cold, and far less flashy. Number 5. You can't count the stars. When you look up at the night sky, it might feel impossible to count all the stars. But in reality, it's actually doable, at least the ones you can see. According to the Yale Bright Star Catalog, there are around 9,000 stars visible from Earth without a telescope. Sure, billions more exist, but the stars above your head aren't infinite. So next time you feel overwhelmed by the cosmos, remember, you could technically count them if you had enough patience. Number 4. Flying through the asteroid belt is extremely dangerous. Thanks to space movies, we picture the asteroid belt as a chaotic, deadly minefield. In reality, the belt between Mars and Jupiter is immense and incredibly sparse. Yes, it contains trillions of rocks, ranging from tiny dust particles to boulders nearly the size of a quarter of the moon. But these objects are millions of miles apart, meaning the odds of a spacecraft colliding with one are extremely low. NASA has sent missions through the belt, like Dawn, with no issues, so it's more of a scenic route than a death trap. Number 3. Earth is a perfect sphere. Contrary to popular belief, Earth isn't a perfect sphere. It's what scientists call an oblate spheroid, bulging slightly at the equator because of its spin. This bulge even gives rockets a small boost if they launch from the equator thanks to Earth's rotational speed. So while our planet is definitely round, it's doing a little cosmic dance, and that bulge is a reminder that the universe isn't as geometrically neat as we often imagine. Number 2. Zero gravity means no gravity. Floating astronauts are an iconic image of space. But here's the truth. There's still gravity up there. The International Space Station experiences about 90% of the gravity we feel on Earth. So why do astronauts float? Because they're in continuous freefall, orbiting the planet at high speed. It's physics, not magic. Hollywood's portrayal of weightlessness makes it look effortless, but in reality, every motion in orbit is a careful balance of speed, momentum, and gravity. Number 1. Sound travels in space. Finally, the one you've probably heard a million times, in space, no one can scream. Mostly true, but let's add a twist. Sound needs a medium like air or water to travel through. Space is mostly empty, so sound cannot propagate. But in dense regions like gas clouds near black holes, vibrations do occur, though humans would need instruments to detect them. So space is largely silent, but it's not completely devoid of sound. Bonus myths worth mentioning. Even after our top 10, there are a few more popular space myths worth debunking. Planets are always hot or cold depending on distance from the sun. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, but Venus is actually hotter due to its thick greenhouse gas-heavy atmosphere. Meanwhile, distant planets can have wildly varying temperatures depending on their atmosphere, size, and reflectivity. All stars are the same color? Stars come in a rainbow of colors depending on temperature. Red stars are cooler, blue stars are hotter, and white stars like our sun are in the middle. The images you see online of colorful star clusters? Totally real. The solar system is static? Our solar system isn't sitting still. It's orbiting the center of the Milky Way at roughly 514,000 miles per hour, completing a full galactic orbit every 230 million years. So every picture of planets frozen in space is just a snapshot of an incredibly dynamic system.
Mercury is the hottest planet. Many assume the closest planet to the Sun is the hottest, but Venus holds that title. Mercury's thin atmosphere can't trap heat, while Venus's thick clouds turn it into a planetary oven. Astronauts really float because there's zero gravity. We covered this, but it's worth emphasizing. Weightlessness is really just a freefall effect. Gravity still exists, which makes movement in orbit far more complex than movies suggest. Space is full of wonders and surprises, but it's also full of misconceptions. The more we learn, the more we realize reality is stranger and far more amazing than fiction. Floating astronauts, silent explosions, fusion-powered suns, and stars hurtling through galaxies at unimaginable speeds. The universe is incredible, and debunking these myths only makes it more fascinating. So next time someone confidently throws out a fact about space, remember, the truth is often far more interesting. The universe doesn't need embellishment. It's already breathtaking. Curious for more mind-blowing space myths and cosmic truths? Click on the videos around you, keep exploring, and remember, the universe is far bigger and stranger than anything we can imagine.